It's my time, it's my season, and I've got a good reason to open my mouth. Gonna let it out, open your mind, grab your friend, hope you listen to the end. The vibe is good and learning meets on She Who Speaks.
Hi, welcome to another episode of She Who Speaks. I'm Renee, lover of a good laugh and all things behavioral. With me are my ladies. There's Marilyn, she's unassuming but with a good listening ear, and Loveman, or unstoppable force with an angelic voice. Together, we are She Who Speaks, and we're so delighted to have you join us. If this is your first time, welcome. If you've been with us from the beginning, we appreciate you so much. Today, we're going to talk about one of my behavioral type topics. So I'm excited. I'm trying to keep it brief, but I do like all things behavioral, like in real life. So I remember in the, she's like, yeah, we know all the time, and I try. But I remember in our very first episode when we talked about like our resolutions and things that we wanted to talk about. Yes, that thing way back in the day. And, some of us kind of did some of them, some of us didn't. So today we're going to talk about that kind of. We're going to talk about what are some of the things that stop us dead in our tracks? What are some of the things that interfere with us accomplishing what it is that our dreams and our desires are? But think about that because we're about to throw ourselves under the bus. But before we do all that, I wanted to kind of share with you something that I found very interesting that kind of brought up all of this thinking, and it's from Psych Central. And did you know there are actually 5 different types of boundaries? I did not know either, because you just think boundary, right?
Right.
So there's physical, and what they're saying is that this refers to your personal space, your privacy, your body. You might be someone who is comfortable with public displays of affection or not, or you might prefer to be touched or not touched in public. These are like public type boundary or physical boundaries.
Right.
And then there's sexual boundaries. I didn't know this was a thing. These are your expectations concerning intimacy. Sexual comments and touches might be uncomfortable for you or not. There's intellectual boundaries. These are boundaries that concern like your thoughts, your beliefs. There's emotional boundaries. I kind of think more like this when I think boundaries.
Common one.
Exactly. This refers to a person's feelings, where you might not feel comfortable sharing your feelings about everything with a friend or partner. Instead, you prefer to share gradually over time. This is me. And then financial boundaries. That's a thing. Okay. And I'm well aware of mine. This one, as you guessed, is all about money. If you like to save money, not spend it on trendy fashions, you might not want to loan money to a friend who does, things of that nature. And so that was kind of actually interesting to hear. So with that in mind, and I want your viewers to kind of think about that as well. What is one big goal that you still aren't done accomplishing? And what is the boundary that resonates with you as to why you're not done accomplishing that yet?
Excuse me?
Was that a volunteer to go?
Yes. No, not at all.
I felt
that
it.
was
We'll
a
just go.
sneeze.
No,
But
it's like, no, me, please.
anyway, I can do this. So one of the boundaries,
My first goal.
Oh, sorry.
Goal, and what's the boundary?
See,
And then the boundaries.
I was indeed sneezing and not thinking about and trying not to have other muscle relaxing while I sneeze.
Oh!
That's what I was trying to accomplish. But she caught me. So my goals. So I think that for me, a lot of my goals, things needs to go mentally first in order for me to break those boundaries mentally so that I can accomplish the goals that I have. So I am working on and off on breaking those boundaries, those mental barriers that I have mentally that don't fully allow me to accomplish those goals.
But what's one of the goals? She's trying to see us trying to skirt on telling us the goal, so we don't hold her accountable.
I can't be blamed because I think I'm going to be like her.
Right. I mean, and that's one of the things also because
That's one of your goals, to just
exactly to let go of that. That's part of it. Like I promise that's part of it. Like to say them out loud already is something that is
It's hard.
that is
Yeah,
hard.
That's true.
because it scare you?
Because it scares me, but also because people's opinions still scare me about them. And like as you said when you were in another episode when you were talking about you moving, like the interference of people, what are they gonna think about that? What like this to me it still has an impact mentally on me.
Everybody
And-
or specific people?
It's kind of everybody
Okay.
for me.
Okay.
So, but yeah, there are some professional goals, there are some personal goals, there are some of my, I already shared one with you guys, like I would like to one day record a song, something
That's
like
what I thought she was
that.
gonna say.
That I would, that's
And
something that,
she will do it.
that I would like to write.
2022, she will do it.
That's very optimistic. But like to write and to do something that has always been in my heart since I was a little girl. So it's not, and it's not even for like, it's just for me to say, hey, I have done it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Because that's something that's from I can find that picture of me like with a microphone when I was a little girl, but that's something that I've always like would like to have like as a, and also we discussed that also in another episode. Watch all our
You
episodes,
have to watch
guys.
all
You
of
have
them,
to-
or else you
right.
won't understand.
Exactly. Like a legacy type of things. That's I'm really more than ever aware of that of trying to break those things for my children because I do see some traits sometimes and I'm like, I know it's me. I know it's me. And I don't want, or at least if it's there, I want them to know that it's possible to go over those fears and those things and to still, accomplish something that you want despite of your brain or your fears or your things telling you that holding you
But
back.
for your kids,
Right.
you are the best manual.
Exactly. So I want to be, I want to be that manual. I want to be that example for them. So yeah, not only for myself first, I'm trying to think for myself first, but also for my kids and for that. So yeah,
That's great motivation.
right.
I'm going to be transparent with you guys. The last couple of years has not been easy for me. It was a very traumatic years. And that's why I was really grateful for this podcast because it's been a way also for me to give, to keep learning and grow.
Cathartic, yeah.
But I realized lately, I realized that, when you went through something very traumatic, then you have to take the time to heal. And then after the healing process, I was praying about it. So that's why I was like, this episode is, I don't know. That I felt like my dream got, like I could not dream again.
Oh, wow.
Oh my
It's
God.
like you're so focused on surviving. And as like I said, I'm a mother, and that's been my focus, and I want to make sure that she's good. Then I do think it's really recently that I'm trying to like go back to myself and to really dream again.
Wow.
Because I was always someone with big goal, big aspiration. I'm going to do this. And then when you go through something very unexpected, or then I feel like for a long time I was just walking with I'm like I don't see it, but I keep walking.
Stepping,
But now I just need not necessarily knowing where, but I know I just have to keep walking. This is my personality. And now I feel like I'm at that stage where I'm like, okay, light. we need to go there.
Exactly.
Yes.
You see where I'm going.
And that's why now I feel like even like us being together, it's just me. It's just me coming back to self
Right.
and doing the work to
Yeah.
not to continue to be that light
Right.
and not stop. So that's why I'm
Dim
like
your light.
that's why I say I don't I want to be real in this episode. Like I could have come with the list. But to be honest, maybe we talk to some people that sometimes you go through some time and you feel like your dream have been
Dashed.
do you have time to dream?
Mm-hmm.
You know, good about what? Life is hard.
Yeah,
Right.
you're just trying to survive.
Yeah, you just have to try to survive and try to look
That
good.
is real.
So that's why I'm like, I feel like taking this summer, I really have vacation to like I really disconnect from my work because even at my job is very stressful, and so I was the type where even in vacation they would contact me, and so when I was on vacation, like at 5 a.m. in the morning, I would send email. I was in
Oh
Barcelona.
Lord.
And I would take care of business, and then I will. But this here, I let them know. I'm
checked
not.
out.
I will not like my messages. I will not check my message. I will not check my email until a week. I tell people that I wrote on my message that I will start consulting my email a week after my official date.
Yeah.
Because I really want to come back and easy.
Yeah.
So to let you, so that's why I'm like I feel like now I'm in the stage where I have to restart to dream again and don't let and whatever I've been through to allow this experience to it shaped me. I am definitely stronger.
You would be.
But now it's just like okay, it was a chapter. It's not the whole story.
Wow.
Keep going.
Yes. I
So
love
that's how I feel now.
I love
That
that.
last part though, Jesus, that was good. It's a chapter, not the whole story.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's like a whole sermon, but I'm just gonna leave that alone and move on to share my part. That could be a sermon. But for me, there are multiple things, and as Marilyn was talking, one of the goals that I think I have had since I was little, because you started talking about yourself with the mic. I'm like, oh, that's so cute. What did I used to do when I was that age? And I remember I used to write stuff and it would be published in the local newspaper back home. Just long time. I have a book of like over like hundreds and hundreds of poems.
Wow.
I have like 2 books that I've started and never finished.
Wow.
I'm so serious.
Who are you? A book.
oh, I'm glad it's on
Well,
camera. I'm glad that it's on camera.
Like, yeah,
A book.
yeah. 2 books, girl.
2 books.
2 books that I
Not one.
started and 1 book of poems.
Wow.
So 3 books.
So when are we gonna read it?
Yeah.
No. Come on, ladies.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes I
Okay.
see. So the other day, let's whisper. I found 1 poem that I had written to my little boyfriend.
Ooh.
I was a flirt as a little girl. I didn't do anything, but I would lyric, kill them with
Fantasize.
lyrics. Yeah. Saw a poem and it was at my mom's house on like just somewhere on the overhead. Means she read it. It was so embarrassing.
Oh
I mean, there was nothing inappropriate, but
Okay,
you're trying to be
good.
like a little. We call it oily tongue. Back. Yeah, embarrassing. But yeah, I used to love to write. And I think the barrier or the thing for me, it's just me, quite honestly.
no.
The biggest thing that I struggle with is inconsistency. I can't even say it's finances because I never got far enough to even know if
It's gonna be a
finance is going to be an
struggle.
issue. Like I just stopped. There was so my husband's mom passed away. Not my father has passed away, but when she passed away, it was right as we got married. And I remember thinking that I wanted our future children to know who she was. And so I started writing her story as a book. Ask me where that book is. Not done, nowhere. It's on the low. I know the flash drive it's on though. So, but yeah, that's one of mine. In addition to the others I've shared with you guys before, like exercising consistently.
So
And that conference thing too. I would like to hear you speak at a
Yes,
yes, definitely. Definitely.
conference.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think as I'm listening to us, Yours is like on a whole different level. That's like some just real talk. Because sometimes, to be honest, that's one of the reasons why I know a lot of people don't necessarily do like a New Year resolutions and all these things. They just try to live and do life because, as Loveman says, sometimes you find yourself in experiences that you could not, in your wildest dreams or any kind of big imagination, like imagine, you couldn't imagine it. And so you just literally have to use the hand that life dealt you, and that is okay. Sometimes the number one assignment is surviving. So big props to that.
And I had to learn that because, as you said, like it was 2020, 2021, like it was really crazy years.
It was.
But I think it's also for your personal development. I think everybody's like, okay, it's 2020. I need to get.
You remember 2020 vision?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And for me, I had the vision, and then life just hit me. So then it's 2020. I mean, at least for me, it was then this 2021. You try, you see everybody's like, and you see around people are making progress and moving on, but you're just trying to like heal. You're just trying to survive. You're just trying to. So it's not like you don't want to dream. It's just it's not in you. It's really not in you. And sometimes it's okay. Take this time, because something I didn't want to do with myself is to be fake, acting like like everything is fine, and then and inside I'm just broken. So I went to each stage of grief where and grief it's not necessarily losing someone. It's like it's just life. Like sometimes you're just grieving your life.
Yeah, changing what you do.
Yeah. So for me, it was just allowing myself to go with all the stages, and then that's why I say, okay, now that I feel like I went through all the stage, now like it's a good episode. It just remind me that I have to dream again.
Good. And I like one of the things you said when you said that you look at everybody else and they're moving forward.
Everybody.
And every time you have to remind yourself that you're not on anybody else's time and agenda, because this is for me, this is one of the things that also is a like hinder me from pursuing my dream. You see people actually achieving and doing so well and thing, and you're like not in a jealous way. You're like it's the opposite. You're like so happy, and you're like, this person is fantastic. Yeah. This person is like, you're not like that. And then you start to back talk yourself and say, hey, I don't have that ability. Why would I compete with someone who is like this and stuff? And why would I try to be? But you have to remind yourself that, hey, you have your purpose. God has created you for a purpose. He has put dreams in your heart and things that are proper to you and to, like, it's so hard. It is so hard not to compare and not to sometimes diminish yourself and your abilities and everything else. So it's always important to remind yourself that I'm cheering for everybody else's dream, but I have to dream also for myself. There's nothing wrong with that.
You use the term diminishing yourself, and so stick it in first day. Loveman, Marilyn, and I almost called you the name I like to call you.
She did earlier, but it's okay.
Yeah, I'm not like
it's okay.
We always say that it's interesting how when we do this, we don't know what it does for you, but we know what it does for us. And it's so cathartic, like it's so healing. So just last night, real life, I was in a mental funk, and I started counting up how many years I've worked, whether full time since leaving college. I don't want to say the number. I'll type it on my phone and show it to you because I don't want y'all to think I'm like seniorly or something.
Just
right?
You get it.
Okay. So just know it's close. It may be above 10 by a lot or not, but it's like a lot of years.
It's a lot of years.
I'm like, what do I have to show for that? Girl. So I started like, this was me. I'm like, okay, take off 4 of those years because then you went to another. Okay. Oh, that's still more than 10. What do you have to show for it? And I started to feel down. Like it started to bring me down. But thank God for grace and mercy. It kind of, I fell asleep is what happened. Grace and mercy. I was so exhausted. I fell asleep, so I didn't get to finish riding the train down into sadness.
But
But
I feel you. I feel you.
you know, I'm always falling asleep. It's a
That's good.
struggle.
That's so you're
I
good.
feel you.
I'm like, woe is me, I can't.
Yeah.
Gone.
No, but I feel you because I had those moments too, especially me, whether it's academic or whatever, you invest so much time and then you're like, okay, so what was the return in investment?
Yeah.
And people say it's okay, you grow, God preserve you. And that's cool.
That's great, but again,
But
yeah.
what do I have to show for
Right.
it?
Yeah.
So I do understand when those moments come, and you do really have to, I guess, check your mental, because because at the end of the day, we have to remind ourselves that we have an enemy that love to see us down.
He
And,
does. Yeah.
and to diminish our accomplishments, but also the growth as a human, as a woman, as a spouse, as a mother. And we're taking these things for granted. We think that it's accessible to everybody, and you just have to do the work and you get there. But and our story are unique. You know, we don't start with the same with the same place, even the same economic background. It doesn't. We don't start at the same line and see who's going to be the best. That's not the story. So we do have to remind that you know, we have a unique story, and life is not over. I know we getting close to a certain age, but it's not over. It's just the beginning.
30, honey.
Yeah.
But,
With quite a bit more numbers after it.
and I want to enjoy that. Like I always say, like I don't want to be depressed for my 40s. I really want to when I get there, I hope that if it is a goal, it's to be happy with myself, because I feel like you reach that age. I remember when I turned 30, it clicked for me that I don't care what people think about me anymore.
Wow.
It really, it was like, okay, I've been myself for 30 years.
Yeah.
Or either you like me or you don't.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't mean that I didn't have things to work on, but I just know it did something in my head. So I'm sure that 40 would do
Something
it's something else. But what I'm seeing around, I have to prepare my 40 right now, because I want to be happy. I want to walk into it and look like I'm 20.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
but be happy with the person that I became based on whatever I've been through.
right.
So talking about accomplishing that for your 40s when that comes 20 years down the road.
20 years.
Here's how you overcome those boundaries. You ready to get pen and you don't need to get pen and paper.
Let me write it down.
So I like this, what they shared. And again, this is Psych Central, because it's real. Like there's way more than what I'm going to share, but these were the ones that kind of resonated with us. And we thought, oh, we can share that with our friends. So the first one is, we changed the wording somewhat. Know your why, because if you know why something is important for you, it reignites your desire to do it. And then once you know the why, start small. I think sometimes when we're like big picture people, the big just all these different pieces trying to bite the whole thing and chew the whole thing at the same time can be a bit overwhelming. So they suggest that you know your why and then take baby steps, you know, that make sense to accomplish it. And they say set your boundaries and for accomplishing your goals early. So you have to be clear on what those are in order to set them. And then where I struggle, it says be consistent. I used to sell Mary Kay, which is very ironic to me because I was the only consultant I've ever known that doesn't know how to do makeup, but besides the point, which is probably why I'm no longer selling Mary Kay. So my director used to say, how you do anything is how you do life. And she was a huge advocate for consistency. And I love to watch her still because she's one of the most consistent persons I know.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Do you feel that since you became a mother or a wife, it impede your consistency? It affect your consistency? Like for me, I felt like before when I was on my own, I was more, I was a to-do list type of girl, check. And now, you know,
100%.
you can check, and then she has a fever. That's her, the whole schedule for the day. It's just your mental charge
100%.
is different. Like you're just thinking about the human being all the time.
100%.
Sometimes 2, 3, 4, like, you know. So do you feel that it changed or?
I was thinking about a lot of things last night. I promise you, I was thinking about this last night. And I was saying to myself, I was showing myself, I'll tell you how it came up. I had some moments by myself this week where I was like of course I had to go to work, but still, I was kind of tunnel vision on doing stuff, you know, of course, after Karen and everything are taken care of, doing stuff specifically for myself. And I was eating salads. I did a little salad reel. Check it out, guys. It's pretty. And I'm just doing great, right? And I'm dropping my vacation weight, and I'm doing great. Saturday night, Karen says I'm not eating past 8 o'clock. Saturday night, Karen was doing a function, had a meeting, and like 8:30, he says, "Hey, you want to grab something? You want us to go get something to eat?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
She didn't want to.
I didn't really want to, but I was just like, but that's just me. So I feel like all that to say, like I was hungry, but when I was kind of in my own little silo before, I would have drank something hot and went to my bed. But when you are integrated into like a family dynamic, where you have a husband and you have a wife, you have children, then all of a sudden you're no longer like tunnel visioned, because I mean that I could have just said, "No, guys, it's not that serious," but it's just to the point of you're not as consistent with your stuff when you start kind of considering other people too. For me,
and who wants to cook different meals? Like go buy something to eat, everybody's gonna eat.
Everybody eating this one thing at 8:45.
Right.
But yeah, so that was one of the things they said, to be consistent. Oh, and it also says be aware of social media.
Ooh, that's
It's a blessing and a curse
at the same time.
At the same time, if you don't be careful, it will really affect you. Like I'm glad that I think I said that before, that we were in the generation where we see it happen, like we transition to social media. But if for the generation that only knows that, as far as the standard
body image,
the body image, even like as far as goals, like everybody want to be a millionaire. Remember when you guys were just happy to like have your house, have a job, like
entrepreneur.
Everybody's an entrepreneur. Good for, I mean, good for you. But I'm glad that I've seen other options, like other path. And I think now social media is just telling us, do your own, be your own. Like, and that's great, because I understand that. But some people, they don't feel like that. And how they find their...
What if you don't have a path? I'm just kidding. Everybody has a path. What is my path? But you know what's funny? Like, especially you mentioned like everyone's an entrepreneur now. What if you were made to work for someone?
Some people are really good employees. I see that. Like, it's not, and to me, as I'm taking the moment, I have a management position. Like it's only the business. Like I'm happy that then I have to report to someone else to deal with the responsibility, the liability and stuff like that. Like it's not everybody had the shoulder. So I
can
do,
be intense.
So I do respect entrepreneur, but I hope it's your goal.
Right.
It truly is a call. So other than being aware of social media, it also says communicate. So you have to know what it is you're trying to do, be able to articulate that, be your biggest champion. Always, like with anything in life, you have to be your biggest champion.
It's hard. It's hard. That part you want to, but sometimes I think in some areas of your life, you're like, no, we're not gonna, we're not happy, so we're not gonna act like we're happy about it.
You know, it's interesting. There's this, I texted her this. I feel like, you know, those people, you call them and you're like, oh my God, I was just thinking about you.
Mhm.
And you're like, sure. I feel like that in this episode. This week was an introspective week for me. So
That's okay.
this week, I was talking to this lady. She was a coworker of mine. She no longer works where I work, but she was the first person that I consciously, and I say consciously because sometimes you will be seeing things around you all along, but you're not aware of it until it becomes a conscious thought, that she championed herself. And she demonstrated that in a way that, you know how when you grow up as a Christian, you struggle with what's humility versus bragging. She was the first person that I saw. And it wasn't any big thing. We're in a training and she said, I'm really good at directions. Like if you want to get from point A to point B, ask me, I'll get you there. I'm really good at directions. That's one of my strengths.
Yeah, she knows it and she's not, yeah.
And I was like, what?
Direction?
Yeah, but not only that, I'm like,
The way,
this out
yeah.
loud?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
and it didn't come off as arrogant to me.
Right.
But it was like, wow.
But when you think about you saying things like this about
yourself.
you're like, that would sound very arrogant
Yeah,
and
because-
full of myself.
Yeah, because it's
But
like,
some
oh,
people, when they say it, you think it's
wow.
natural. God, no good.
Because it's almost like if I went to you and say, are you a great singer? You'd be like, who, me? Oh, girl, no. But y'all hear some album. So how, you get what I'm saying? It's almost like we're conditioned to not accept the real part of ourselves.
And you're right. We have to know the balance between humility
Yeah.
and bragging. It's really humility.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah.
I think like if she had said, none of y'all in here can give directions like me.
That
That's
would be
bragging.
good, yeah.
Right.
But if knowing that this is a
Confident in
strength,
herself.
yeah,
That's a skill she has and she knows
and
it.
she knows
Right.
it, I would get you lost from here to the door. Don't ask me for any directions ever, just up or down. Did you go upstairs or downstairs? Went upstairs. That is the end of that. Don't ask me anything else.
I think I'm good, and then when you follow my instruction, you realize like, nah, that was not that great. That was not that great.
But yeah, be your own champion. You know?
Good. I love that. I love
I
that.
don't know if you grew up hearing the saying, belief kills and belief cures.
Ooh,
Yeah.
no, I've never heard that.
Is it a Jamaican thing? Y'all who are watching that are from Jamaica, tell me if it is. And even if you're not from Jamaica, tell me if you say it in your culture too, because Jamaicans like to claim stuff. We claim everything because that's where we heard it. So it has to be a Jamaican thing. But yeah, so that was one of the things that was said also. And you know what just happened? I deleted the rest of my notes.
Oh,
There
that's interesting.
was one more point. We will never know what it was because I just deleted it.
Just,
I don't know what I did. That was great. Oh wait, I sent it to you guys too. I will find it. You know,
Alright.
this is going
And the
great,
last
guys.
one?
And the last, I'm like, where'd the whole note go? Did you see me looking for it? Gain some perspective is the last point. We could have done without it.
Right.
We didn't need that last point.
Right. That was
Gain
God
some
telling us. We didn't
What
need
does it
that.
mean? Like it's like people opinion or something like that?
I don't even know. I'm messed up. Gain some perspective. I don't know.
Mhm.
Maybe
Like,
that
yeah.
could be that.
Have
could
like
be
a third
put stuff-
point of
put
view.
stuff into perspective. I think that's probably what it means.
Yeah.
But
Or
I would
be
say-
realistic about. I guess that too. Maybe
Yeah.
be realistic about
Yeah.
your goals and see maybe
But what
when
is
it's
realistic?
attainable or when.
What
I
is
don't know.
realistic?
Yeah.
It's up to you.
Realistic
You are-
against what? Yeah.
Yeah. it's up to you.
Perspective. I mean,
Do what you want,
yeah,
you know.
that's the moral. of the story. I'm still that was funny. But yeah, just look at it from different angles, you know, for further clarity.
Mhm.
But yeah, tell us what are some of your goals
Mhm.
and have you accomplished it? If you have, we're excited for you. If you haven't, then what? And you don't have to tell us what's preventing you, but if you don't mind sharing, we're here to listen and support
Yeah,
you
we can
too.
tell us if it's financial,
Yeah.
intellectual
Yes,
boundaries.
Is it emotional? Is it
Yeah.
physical? What are the boundaries that are holding you back? And we're cheering for you and we're cheering for each other along the way.
Please pray for
Um,
us too. because-
Yes. And next time you see Marilyn, she's gonna have an album. out,
And
okay?
Renee, a book. Come on,
No,
somebody.
not one, but honey, 3.
Woo, you heard
I'm
it.
just kidding.
You heard it first here.
and love men will be dreaming again.
Come
Right,
on,
man.
everybody.
Okay. We're so happy that you're here. We're so happy that we're back and that we can pour into each other. If you have any topics or questions that you would like to ask of us, or if you would like for us to pull our resources together to bring topics to you, we are so happy and humble to be able to do that for you. So you can continue to cheer us on and encourage us by liking, subscribing, sharing, and
All of that.
all of that good stuff. If you're new, welcome. We have so many other fun episodes in the past that we'd love for you to go check out. If you're one of our day ones, thank you for continuing to support us. As we always say, until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. We love you and see you next time.
She who speaks.